So you have the Z Fold 4 and you have an S Pen and you want to take it with you, but obviously the S Pen does not go in the phone, so we need a case to do it. This is the latest case from Roamtech for the Z Fold 4. I want to thank Roamtech for supplying the case here for my review, but as usual, my review is my opinion and my opinion alone, and no one reviewed this video before publication. So let's get right to it. So this is the holster that you get with it. Okay, and this has a clip here for your belt clip, and this actually also functions as a stand. I don't know if you can see it in here, but there's a little metal clip here. Let me get it out. So I don't know if you could see that, but there are little grooves in the top of the clip here, and the metal bracket here just finds one and holds it so you can adjust the height of these the stand here. And to open that up, you just push this back in and close it. And again, this also functions as a belt clip. So this is the top part of the case, and this does the S Pen holder a little differently. This actually comes on the top part of the case. Very few phone cases have that. So let's see how that works out. Then this is the back of the Z Fold 4 case. This is the camera cutout, obviously. Pretty durable plastic here, smooth on the inside. A little bit of protection here, no bumper cushions though at all. Then the out here is very durable, grippy material, which I like. So let's put this on here. Obviously, pretty easy. This just snaps on. No problem. Then the top part, again, just snaps on. There's no adhesives with this, which some people like, some people don't, but that just snaps on real easy. So let me show you how the hinge works with this. You have to put it in the front way here. You can't put it in hinge first. And this could slide in this way, where the S Pen would be right here. And there is the hinge. Or you could flip it around and slide it in this way. Then the S Pen, again, is right here. But the hinge actually gets a little more protection. This sticks out a little bit. So it's a little more protection on the hinge, but less protection on the screen. And if you flip it and do it the other way, like I said, then we have more protection on the screen because it's completely protected. But the hinge there sticks out. This is not raised. It's raised a little bit, but it's not enough to block the hinge from getting hit with anything. So the bezel here is raised. No problem putting it down like that. The screen is definitely protected. So swiping here, maybe a little bit of an issue every once in a while, but I didn't really have an issue with it. Then here you got the back case here. Case here is just, it's basically flush with the camera. There's really not a lot of protection there. The case doesn't offer a lot of protection for the case. It's mostly flush, maybe just a little raised on the cameras. So I'd be a little careful putting the case down on the back side here. I've been doing it, but and haven't had an issue. But the case is, just basically flush with the camera module there. So not a lot of protection with that. Neither is the cons I'm going over here to start with. This part over here is just a little loose, but again, it stays on fine. The top part here doesn't slide off at all, so it does give you the protection, but that part I noticed was a little loose. For the S Pen, it goes in here perfectly, no problem, and it stays in there. The only thing, this is not a con on the case, but it's just something you have to be careful of, is if you were putting the S Pen in and you got the little tip there, if you do it on the edge of the case and you push in hard, you could probably whack that tip off. So I usually just slide it in first so the tip doesn't get damaged, and then just push it in there. And that's in there tight. That's not going to pop out unless you actually, physically pull it out. The only other con on this case is that when you're trying to access the power button with the S Pen on there, it's a little getting used to. I didn't, after using it for a little while, I really didn't think too much about it. Because when you do, if you look here, the button is accessible, but the S Pen is right there. So if you're hitting it with your thumb, it just opens up a little bit for me, and I just be able to put it on there with no problem. I could also access the fingerprint reader here without opening the S Pen, but it's just a little harder. So usually I just put my thumb in there and just open it up slightly and get a read on there. And again, I haven't had a problem unlocking the phone at all. Now the pros on this is, again, I love the grippy texture here. The cutouts on the phone are great, no problem there. The other pro is I like the S Pen on the side like this with the case. I feel like it doesn't really add a lot of bulk to the phone. It's easy to grab and hold, and I have the S Pen with me all the time. The only thing is with the S Pen out like this, I feel like I am reaching for it all the time to take notes on the front screen here, but obviously the S Pen doesn't work on the front screens. I wish the Z Fold 4 was made where the S Pen would work on the front screen, because then I'd use it all the time. All the time I feel like I'm jotting stuff down and doing stuff, but I can't do that without opening it up. The S Pen is held in there nice and tightly. Again, that's a big pro. So I typically just carry around the case just like this, with the S Pen on there and no holster. But if you have the holster, and so when you put it in this way, the hinge is really not protected. If you flip it around and put it in this way, then the hinge does get a little extra coverage here, because you can see the holster does stick out a little bit. So if it does fall on like this, it will give a little protection there. And the holster itself doesn't add a lot of bulk, but the clip does. So if you wear this for a belt clip, no problem. It only rotates 180 degrees though. So to there, and then it will flip around this way. Again, if you like to carry this in a backpack or a bag or something like that, I mean, the front is completely protected. The back is protected, except for the camera modules, maybe a little bit, and the hinge is fairly protected there. So let me just set this up as a stand and show you how that works. And this has a pretty good range of how far you could open it. It will clip all the way there. Then the last notch is somewhere about there. Let's go ahead and open this up a little bit. So if you're putting the phone in this way, there's not a lot to hold it, and it will kind of slide out there pretty easy. But if you just rotate it and put it in like this, then it's actually held in there pretty good. You can watch a video. You could also be able to interact with it, and you're not going to knock it off, because the edges here do hold the phone in there pretty well. And of course, you could use a stand like this with the phone closed, and that is completely secure, no problems. Then when you're done, you could just close the clip and, be on your way. The other thing I like to do is I rotate the clip, like this in its home position. And then you can't put the case in this way, so it's got to go in this way. So I slide it in, and then you can't turn it on once it's all the way to the end there. That will block the power button. But if you turn it on, access it, unlock it, and then you have a real good grip here, because you got this whole clip to hold on to nice and tight. And then very easy to hold this and use this for a long time, where you can access with your thumb, and just an easier way to grip the phone. So not military grade protection here, and the hinge is exposed, but it does give fairly good protection there, and it doesn't add a lot of bulk to it. And I really like the place for the S Pen. There's very few cases that have the S Pen on the side, right, like this, and I think this is a perfect place for it. So I use it all the time, and I take it with me all the time. And if you're going somewhere that you don't feel like you're going to need the S Pen, then you can just pop it out, and actually it makes it much more grippy here too, because then you got these two little tabs to grab onto. You can put your hand in there like that, and if you're going for a walk or a run or something like that, you can hold this real easy, and it just gives you a little extra protection, a little better grip on to hold it. And again, this back part is very grippy to hold. So all in all, I love the case. If you have an S Pen and you want to use it all the time, and you want to clip it on here, this is a great way to do it. And the S Pen is on the actual case, not the holster. There's pros and cons to everything, but if you like the S Pen on the case, then this is the way to do it, and it's very easy, accessible, and it doesn't add a lot of bulk to it. So this is a great case. I'll put a link in the description so you can find it. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far and this video was at all helpful, please consider subscribing. It does help out the channel a lot. And please like and turn on the notifications. Would really appreciate it. And in the meantime, watch these two videos. Thanks for watching.